Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. I just got a call as I started the room. Uh, how are you all? I had some request by a speakers club this morning to come to them and then hire them for corporate health. So that's something I am very interested about talking because I was in the corporate culture for so many years. I had run my own corporation. I was part of several corporations, advising them um, informally. So, what I do with the corporations I want to address today is uh, corporate health is important because many people are controlled by the corporations, and if the top brass can be servant leaders, they serve the investors, they serve the customers, they serve the employees much better. But then a lot of culture is about just revenue based, and then controlling people with that incentive and all that, which is really not healthy for us in the long run. So I developed you know comprehensive self care for the burnout and stress that is useful for them. Stress management for excessive tension is something I developed for the IT people. That's useful for them, for the corporation, I mean, and also servant leadership, and that also useful for them. So basically, in the servant leadership, you kind of attend to the needs of others than yourself. I'm talking about the leaders, the CEOs, CFOs, CIOs. These are the core team usually I meet, and lots of time they want a lecture. Fine, I go and give them a lecture on my viewpoint of why servant leadership is important, why servant leadership is very productive, and why servant leadership helps the executives not to be stressed out, right? So that's what I focus on. And when I talk like that, they seem to respond to it. But then the implementation is quite difficult for a lot of people because they say we don't have the time, or we don't have the habits of reflection and changing and all that. So uh, I usually introduce them routines that they could do in the wellness way, about starting with understanding what it is to take care of themselves, comprehensive self-care, the four pillars, right? Nutrition, vital nutrition, optimal exercise, good quality sleep, rest, and then managing their mind. That seems to be the big problem with this information age. It's right up my alley, right? So I combine yoga and informatics to help them with that. Okay, like I just was talking about information overload. Three things I want them to do: wake up in awareness, don't let the devices overrule you, and then don't let the train thought start in the morning. Then through the day, just be in the moment, attentive to whatever is happening, and then at the end of the day, try to empty your mind and sleep completely on something that you don't want to carry during the night, for the night. Okay, so the comprehensive self-care is those four pillars: vital nutrition, optimal exercise. The exercise can be formally done in the morning, or I show them opportunities to walk and take stays and all that during the work time, right? And then that I really enjoy because I take any person, and then really help them to discover opportunities to exercise, or it could be just walking, taking the stays, or doing some um, uh, chair exercises or office yoga. So I introduce so many things, or stopping every hour, 1 minute, and taking deep breaths and bringing ourselves to the present moment, things like that. Okay. And then when it comes to stress management for excessive tension, I call it SMET, SMET. The first one is CSC, and this is okay, SMET. Stress management, because so much tension produced by the circumstances, by the overwork, by the conditions of the work, all that, but also by how we react to things internally. That's where I work a lot with them. So the debriefing, being aware, being meditative sometimes, all that helps, right? Then the final thing is, how do we represent the leadership in the company that is nurturing, that is attending to the needs of the others? They can only do that when they are full. They are full in the sense, full of kindness, compassion, and really want other people to do well too, because they have no psychological insecurities, no greed, no egoism, and all that. I address that. I address about the egotism, and I address about the lack of nurturance in the workplace, and also lack of really working on themselves, giving some time so that they can improve better. So this is what I do in the corporate health. So somebody asked me to speak with them about corporate health itself, and they wanted me some appointment and all that. I was busy doing all that. Then I thought I will come and initiate a discussion in our room, and make sure that people do understand what is corporate health is and why we need it. And see, if you take it, um, people work for several years, 30 years and 40 years, and they may earn a livelihood, but afterwards they feel like they have not achieved anything. So, okay, Mabel is coming. Let's invite Mabel. Some fun and nice with her. So she's an excellent lady. So, hi, Mabel.
Hi, Dr. Rao. How are you? Good morning.
I am great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm here. I just went to Aldi.
Uh-huh.
I walk from I walk from the park and then all the way to this grocery,
Uh-huh.
and then I just stopping by to buy some stuff, and then it's a good weather today.
Yeah, good.
It's sunny, and then it's perfect right now. So that's why I
Get it.
have the opportunity to walk.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about corporation health, Mabel. Uh,
What is it?
it's like training people for the servant leadership, you know, and
Ah.
also comprehensive self-care, and also
Uh-huh.
stress management for excessive tension. These are the three programs I run for the years now, and I kind of
Uh-huh.
wanted. Somebody called me about the corporation health, and then I was talking to them. Then I thought I will come and talk here too. That's why I came up and talked.
Oh, yeah. Why
Yeah,
not? Because like me, I'm
yeah,
not aware of that. Probably it's in a different
yeah.
different
No,
word.
no. Suppose you,
We don't,
yeah, suppose you are doing
yeah.
a corporation, and you find egotism, and bosses are really bosses. They don't care about how you do. They only
Mm.
they only alert you when you are not. All that thing is there. There's a lot of stress and also burnout
Uh-huh.
in the corporations. Especially
Wow.
with not only with the leadership, but also the
Uh-huh.
executives and the people who are working. They all go through. So I kind of introduce things like chair yoga, like things like how to keep their mind in proper order. And I was describing all that. You see, it's a combination of comprehensive self-care and management of tension, and leading with other people's needs as a priority, not mine. That
Yeah.
yes, you can only be that when you are psychologically secure inside. You know,
Uh-huh.
Otherwise you cannot do that. You always want everybody to use everybody. This happened in the COVID
Uh-huh.
times. A lot of people were kind of kept at home, right? They cannot
Mm-hmm.
come. What they did during the time, they catered to their family and what they really wanted to do in life. That kind of really helped them to discover, hey, I'm just working for the dollars, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
have the meaning that I would have in this, right? So
Yeah.
that really happened, and then many people resigned after the COVID because they said, for your few dollars you're giving, I'm going to do online, but I'm going to enjoy the things that I want to do in my life, you know. So
Yeah.
that's what I was telling from the beginning. Pay attention to the being. Doing is okay, but then you have to balance that.
Yeah, that's true
Yeah.
because I hear a lot of, oh, I'm burnout, I'm tired, and da
Yeah.
da 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 da.
Mm.
It's just like a lot of complaint.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they don't know what to do. That's the problem.
That's the problem. You see, I hear not just tiresome only, but they're really emotionally exhausted, frustrated,
Uh-huh.
and really want to leave the jobs through and then really go
Yeah.
somewhere else. And those kind of people, when they come to me, I talk about this whole perspective of looking life in a different angle, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
the people who do, they do very well, actually. And then they kind of feel like I was neglecting this side of my life, the being, the
Mm-hmm.
relationships, the love and affection in the family, and also our duty to the society, those kind of things. They're not really lofty words, but everybody wants to do better in those areas, and then
Mm-hmm.
I always start with the physically how you are, if you have,
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
uh,
that's the one. Like for me, I always like I have one coworker.
yeah.
This is recently she resigned.
Ah,
She resigned because she got an argument with the manager. The
ah.
thing is, I understand her side because she feel like she is not here. What she's saying about this one, it's just like probably.
Mabel, you were cut off, so you're muted probably. Maybe the poor is in a range that is not reaching. No audio, Mabel. I can see your photograph, but no audio. Okay. Are you there, Mabel? Okay. All right. Maybe she will come back, so let's see. Come back, Mabel, if you want to. It's okay. Meanwhile, I will continue and maybe she will come back. So this is a real thing. In corporate health is important, not making money for the investors and then running the corporation, but while running it, can you have more inner resilience so that you can deal with the challenges better and you can focus better and you run a really good organization where everybody is happy with your product, everybody is happy that they're producing it there and they're proud of that, and they have some meaning in their life or purpose in their life. If it is just only money, it won't last long. They want to take the raise and they want to look more raise too. There was an example I always quote is about aluminum company of America. They were not making money. They were losing some, but not much, but they were losing some. So they brought in a treasury secretary of the Bush administration into their, into their company and make them CEO. And everybody thought, what does this guy will know? He's a treasury person. How does he know about this? But what he did was he first made the top priority as the employee protection. That means they should be safe while they are working, and that should be the priority of the company. Not the product, not the selling, they all come later. But first, this is the priority. They are going to do other things too, but they give priority to the safety of the employees. Then what happened? The employees really felt like they were cared for, and somebody is really taking care of their needs, and then the energy that is released out of that was enormous. And the next year, they worked so well and they felt that the company is caring for them. and they wanted to really help the company to do well too. And the company made $1 billion of the profit the next year. Okay, so that's an important thing to understand, that people need to feel like they belong to the place, feel like they were protected, and feel like the management cares for their upliftment. This is the nurturing attitude I'm talking about. If you have that as leaders, then you will take care of yourself first, and you will develop the inner resilience. Thereby, you are psychologically secure. You don't need that egotism and all that, right? And then you will be able to really participate in the growth of the company and take pride and really be happy about it. So that's why corporate health is important, because much of the employment in America is by the private companies, right? And then if the private companies want to make a change, they can do it pretty rapidly. They don't have to wait for the approval of the Congress and all that. Congress has its own very nice features of the corporation health there. But then private companies sometimes they focus on only making a quick buck, or making something for the next 3 months, like that. That produces a lot of tension for the management, and also for the, say, for example, corporations here, they look every quarterly, they have to declare the earnings, they have to show to the Wall Street, and they have to get approval of the investors and all that. But in China, for example, modern day what's happening is they have a multi-year programs. So they were able to focus for the national interest, and then they were doing. So that's why they achieved so much growth in such a short time. But they did not care about the health of the employees, or especially mental health. So there are so many people who overworked there and don't feel care at all, and they are committing suicide. You know what happens in China? They put nets on the roads, because people jumping from the buildings can fall on the net, not on the road. So that is a serious problem there. So I mean, I don't really think Chinese companies that many care for the employees in this nurturing way. Maybe they will give employment, and bring up people from villages to work here. In the villages, children are taking care of themselves and also take care of the other children. So that kind of real societal problem is there in China. So it's not just the productivity; it's about the people who are producing that production be inner resilient, healthy, wealthy, and then happy. Okay, so that's my point of view. That's what I tell as much as they can do. They can introduce like a walking club around, and you break time, go and walk. Or they can introduce like a wellness oasis, I call it, where they can go and learn about how to be well, how to not get sick, how to enjoy their work, how to enjoy their relationship by not going to the hospitals and other. Work on the uh, no need for going to the hospitals, but taking care of things at a much simpler level. Many people don't pay attention to what they are eating, and a lot of this process is pushed to people, and people eat that and they get addicted to that. Many people don't have a formal exercise program in their life. They are not active, and they are mostly sedentary by their work. And then what happens with sleep and rest? They think sleep is a waste of time. A lot of people really think that. But it is the time that your body and your mind are revived, right? And then finally, people don't pay attention to the mind management at all. They let the mind run from morning till late night, and then again in the morning. This is a real threat for in the information age. You got to understand how to treat information as tool for us, important, but a tool for us, but don't let it overwhelm you. That is what happening with so much information generated. That's not wisdom. Okay, information insights from that is the wisdom. take that, So this is a big area. We need to help people not just to meditate, retire meditate. No, how do you manage your mind during the day? Like I said, be aware in the morning. Don't let the thought train start and run. Don't have to those few minutes. And then when you are working, develop the attentiveness. Whatever you do, play full attention, and then at the end of the day, try to take out all the things that are lurking in your mind that you are clinging to emotionally or otherwise, all the reactions that you had during the day. People had arguments, people had scolded you, people had really punished you, so many things happen, right? And all that, you want to drain it, you don't want to hold on to them, you don't want to cling to them. Okay. So, if possible, please everybody go and read my article in my LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is the at the end Ravu Kolasu. LinkedIn.com/in/Ravu Kolasu. Then you can go there and you can read this article on information overload, where I suggest these three things which are working for me. That's what. So I don't get up in the morning thinking all sorts of things, or going into the day and all. No, I just stay with the present, what's happening with the weather, with the people, and everything. And then I do the morning yoga rotations and all that, where I try to keep my mind in the present moment, and I carry that through the day. I say, like a perfume, you carry the being in the present through the day. That means whatever I do, I go and see the patients, I go and do the charting, I do the orders, I go to the meetings and all that, right? But also nowadays all online mostly. So each patient consultation I do. Otherwise, I come and do these rooms at my convenience, whenever I have the time between the patients and all that. That's how things are done for me. And all the day being in the present, I don't have to carry a lot of stuff in my head. But even if I carry some, at the end of the day, I try to empty that, right? And I empty that and then sleep on an empty mind. If you start to doing that, you may not have the perfect emptying, but at least some of things let go. The somebody said and you were angered by them, or you're hurt by them, or you felt like you were betrayed, whatever feelings that you have for the night, let them go. You can take them up in the morning. That kind of thing. Okay. So corporate health involves comprehensive self-care of the individuals, dealing with the tension at the hospital or workplace, and also really providing a leadership that is caring for the needs of others, which we call servant leadership, right? So that's how I operate, and that's how I advise the corporations. That's how I elevate corporate health. Okay, a lot of times this nurturing spirit is not there in the leadership. People feel like they are not really cared for. Nobody cares. They only care for the money, not for. They're not so. The employees and other people, they do want the money. That's fine. But then they also want to be treated like people, given importance, given some meaning to their work, given some meaning to the purpose of the work. And also, they have an avenue to develop things on their own, the resources and the avenues that the management can provide, where they can take it up and then they can do that too. Okay. It looks idealistic, now not necessarily, because when you take care of your employees and then put them on the path of evolving and then excelling in their craft, they will be adding to the value to the company, and then you will be having more production in that. Even if the people who have learned from you go, the other people come in, they will catch up very quickly because you have established a standard. That's what happened with my practice. For example, I used to bring in very young girls because they are 18, 19, and then they used to come and volunteer to work in my clinic as an internship because they get the credit and then get the medical assistance thing, right? So I used to have RNs, but also assisting them, these young girls who came. Then we nurtured them and made sure that they were pursuing education, everything that they wanted to do. and encouraging them, that bred more loyalty to the place and they work it better. But when they are going, getting advanced and going somewhere, we welcome that, because I always got new people which they knew what is the standard, what to measure. It was much easier. The flow was there, but then this is a kind of filled by new employees and all that. Okay, I mean it was traumatic sometimes, but overall the practice worked. Okay, so I always cherish that nurturing attitude. Okay, so anybody has any questions or comments, you can come up now and then we can talk about it if you want to. So many people do not pay attention to the intangibles. The intangibles are when you really pay attention to how the employees are feeling, what is their morale like, what is the feeling of contribution, uh, what is the feeling of they were included in the corporations management philosophy and all. Of course there is a lot of racism and all that, we know that too. But then if we are clear in our heart, and if we are as leaders provide that leadership where you are nurturing them, not that you are suppressing them, but allowing them the freedom to grow, allowing them to really feel like we are really for that. Once they're convinced, they will be loyal, very productive. Suppose the new technology broke. I always updated my clinics because I was very enthusiastic about the electronic medical records. So my clinic is the first one implemented that, and we had to work very hard for that. You know, and once it is there, our time and energy really saved. So that kind of continuous improvement, not only in the skill set that is needed for running the whatever business you are in, but also taking advantage of the breakthroughs in technology and the science, and also really making sure these people are feeling like I'm growing at my work. I am contributing, but I don't feel like I'm neglected. I have this opportunity to help myself to grow. If we can cultivate that nurturing attitude without being indulgent or without spoiling employees, you are much better off. As a business also, you are much better. Okay, so think on the uh, corporate health as a national requirement, because if you want to compete with the technology that is breakdown, and then with the with the AI, we will be laying off a lot of people. But then we will be hiring a lot of people with AI skills, probably generating more businesses and all that. So if you look at the good side of the AI, that's why I'm making a lot of commitment of my time and learning. So today also, my wife is taking a AI for business big course, like 3 days, I think. She's spending the time out there. I arranged everything for her upstairs, and I came here because I wanted them to know what are the changes coming on, how we can be competent in those techniques, and then teach other people or help our own company to run better. You know, so when the AI takes over, a lot of people will be left out, because if you don't know AI, you will not be staying in the job in the old way. Okay, that is there. But demanding other people not to implement AI is not going to work. They can't implement anyway. But then you got to be able to contribute in that new atmosphere with the new skills that are there. So management should try to get these people educated on that, and also these people should commit their time to education. Actually, continuous medical learning is a good thing. It keeps us young. That's what our doctors do. Any continuous learning in any field is healthy, because when you really learn something new, you open up the new brain cortex, new neural connections happen. That's when the intelligence grows, when the new neurons happen and they connect to each other. Okay, so that happens only when you expose yourself to something completely brand new for you. It may look like a little suffering in the beginning, but if you have that, I'm going to learn, I'm going to do it. One of my professors in OHSU, she is already 65 above, very old lady, but she is terrific. She is very tough teacher, very tough examiner, but she showed us why she is so perfect and so demanding. Is when somebody tried to solve something technical for her, she said, "No, no, I can do it. I will do it." So she always wants to learn everything by herself. That was great inspiration to all the students because they saw her how enthusiastic she was for the new skills. Okay, and that is actually life. It keeps you young, it keeps you sharp, it keeps you really interested in this, and then you enjoy that. Okay, not like a somebody punishing you, somebody put on a blame on you. But if you take, yeah, this is the new evolution, this is probably the biggest technological innovation and breakthrough in the history of humanity. AI, artificial intelligence. It was there since 1955, the year I was born. So it was there from there, but then it did not get the computing power. It did not get the look as we got it now. Now it's going to, before people used to replace the muscle when the industrial things have come, and then they were replacing something like a clerical duties and all that. But now it is going to replace your thinking. That's why this is such a dangerous, tenuous period. How we are going to respond to the AI implementation in corporations also. I talk about that too. I talk about how to use it properly and also how to protect your mind from this explosion of information. Okay, and also once all your mind's activities are taken over by the computer, which is going to happen pretty soon, they call it a big deal about that, right? And then once that happens, what are you going to do? The people who really understood all this as a tool and they put it aside and really stayed in their real self, which is the self-realization, they will do much better. Actually, this AI is helping me to do lots of things much faster. Just before I came to you, in 5 minutes, I produced a beautiful video on self-compassion. You know, and I'm going to publish some of the Opus clips on that today. And that is, I produce so many videos, but I don't publish them all of them. But this one I'm going to publish. So I learned how to write books faster. I learned how to develop courses faster. I learned how to do the videos faster. Now I'm learning about the marketing and all that. But where I'm not into selling things, people, but I'm interested to make an impact on people's lives. Okay, for that I'm going to help them to introduce things. That's why what I'm doing here to introduce to people what I do with the corporations. So anybody has interest in the corporation health, they can reach me and I can educate them or I can sell them for their corporations and all that. Okay. So, but it's intention is about making an impact on the health and wellness of the corporations and the employees and the executives and the leaders. Okay. So that's all I have to say. I mean, I can go on talking like this, but if somebody wants to come and ask me any questions, I will stay on. Otherwise, I think we can close and then I will continue to make my videos. Okay. Okay. All right, then I will see you guys later and as my time permits. Okay. Bye bye.